Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. This is not an ordinary video. If this video hits 1,000 likes, then I will be picking someone in the comment section and giving them an ounce of silver. So yes, this is a flash silver giveaway video, but only the people watching this video are eligible to enter. So like the video and leave a comment down below as your quote unquote entry into this silver giveaway. Welcome. May the best stacker or the luckiest stacker win. This is probably one of the craziest, most interesting / controversial videos I'll be doing in a while. Why? Because we have two articles we're going to be going over. One, the first article says expect $30 silver, then $50 soon after by 2022. So a very bullish article. We're actually going to be watching some of the video of why silver is to outperform gold by 5 times, why we're going to see $50 silver in, heading into 2022. And what does this mean? I mean, are they serious or are they exaggerating? We're going to look at that. But the second article is titled Silver Crash Makes Silver Trash. Extreme polar opposite, the exact opposite opinion of the first article. And they were both posted today, October 1st. That's what makes this video so interesting. We're going to look at all the points they have to make. We're going to look at all of this. It's going to be a fun video. Not only is it a giveaway video or a flash giveaway, but it's also a video showing both sides of the coin to extreme polar opposites. Are they exaggerating? Are they going to make good points? I'm going to show it. If they make some good points, even in the second article, I'll agree with it. I'll acknowledge it. But if they're throwing out bias, if they're throwing out, just trying to spread some BS, I'm going to call it out as well. This is also going to be an interesting video because by the end of the video, I want to explain something else. I want to talk about something else. I want to show you guys. I want to really explain what makes silver so valuable. Any of these articles, even this one straight in front of our faces, talking about the silver crash making it trash, is irrelevant. What is going to make silver so explosive isn't happening until the year 2023, 2024. Right now, things are affecting the precious metals markets left, right, front, center, up, down, middle. But what silver is really known for, the explosive side, is the supply and demand sector. Low supply, high demand shoots the price up. Electric vehicles, solar panels, all that isn't going to be in full effect until 2023/2024. That's why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer. Gold isn't scarce. So even though prices are down right now and all this random stuff is affecting it, dollar index, stock market volatility, all of that will be swept out the window when the main thing influencing silver's price, which is supply and demand, will be in full effect. The silver shortage is real, silver is scarce, and it's only going to get worse. If you want to invest into something else, branch out, diversify your portfolio, then I have the perfect investment for you. GSX, which stands for Gold Secured Currency, is a crypto backed by physical gold. You can redeem the crypto for physical gold. And where do they get the gold from? Well, they mine the gold out of the ground themselves. They even post their geological report so you can see all of their findings, the mining sites, the mineral deposits, what other mines are they expanding into. It is a crazy project. It's much bigger than what I just mentioned though. I mean, even on their roadmap, which shows over the next 3 years what they're going to be doing, is insane. I mean, they're going to be opening up a visitor center and live feed at the mine, a 24/7 live feed so you can watch them mining yourself from your home. And as they dig up these metals, which they're not just digging up gold, they're going into nickel, they're going into copper, they're going into tantalum, other things as well, that also raises the value. The coins are only 4 cents right now, and that's because the coin is only 4 or 5 months old. I can't imagine in a couple of years where this company can be. The link's in the description. It's it's a lot bigger than even what I just mentioned as well. I mean, they're listed on Coinbase. This is a real company. They also released Stratus, which is like a Facebook slash Amazon marketplace slash crypto exchange all in one. I mean, they said they would do it and they did it. Everything they said they were going to do, they have been doing. They're even opening or launching a mobile app called Gold Inc., where you can like mine gold or play some game and earn GSX tokens or whatever in exchange. I mean, revolutionary, genius idea. It's a lot bigger than what I even just mentioned. It's insane. I mean, it's honestly insane. I wanted to mention this because this company is definitely something that is grabbing my attention. This isn't sponsored. They're not paying me to say this. Genuinely, this is interesting and I see a lot of potential. It's backed by physical gold, so still represents what my channel talks about and what we stand for. So anyways, I wanted to show that. The link's in the description if you want to invest into GSX, which is a crypto backed by physical gold. Now, I am extremely excited and curious to see this video of $50 silver by next year and how it holds up against this other article calling silver basically trash, worthless. This is going to be a good one. Let's jump straight into this video.
We're talking all things silver today with Steve Penny. He is the publisher of the Silver Chartist Report. Steve, welcome to the show.
You bet, David. Thank you so much. I've been following you guys for a long time. First-time guest, but a long-time listener. So it's a pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you for being here. And I followed you on Twitter. You've got some amazing posts. We'll be talking about some of your research today. Focusing on silver, I know you cover the uranium and gold markets as well, but today primarily we'll be talking about silver and your outlook for the metal. Silver has had a rough year, to say the least. A lot of people expected it to go higher for a variety of reasons. One of the interesting things I've noticed this year, well, myself and other analysts I've spoken to, is that silver has diverged from the gold price. Historically, they've moved in tandem. Silver has had a higher beta to gold, but this year, for some reason, if you look at the two variables next to each other, they don't seem to be moving in the same direction all the time. Why is that?
Well, I would not necessarily agree with that over the long term. You could certainly, that's certainly a true statement over the last few months. But if you look at the gold to silver ratio, something I track very closely, going back to March of 2020, that ratio had reached an extreme that's never been seen before, about 130 to 1. And then very quickly, that ratio compressed down to about 65 to 1 in August of last year. So that ratio had moved really far, really fast. So I think what we're seeing here is just kind of a little bit of a backing and filling in that ratio, where we said last I checked somewhere around 75 to 1 or so. But I do think that silver will continue to move in the same direction as gold and outperform gold as the bull market resumes.
Okay, and let's talk about the gold-silver ratio now. So, as you said, historic levels, never before seen before. We've come back down since 120, 130. Historically, it's hovered around, I would say, 50. Now we're still higher than that. What's your outlook for the gold-silver ratio? Where should it be according to your analysis?
Sure. Well, there's a couple of answers to that. You can look at mining output, and it's roughly a 9 to 1 ratio, where silver is pulled out of the ground roughly 9 times in greater abundance than gold. So that's one ratio you can look at. You can look at a long-term historical ratio, and that's roughly 15 to 1. And 15 to 1 is interesting to me because that's typically where bull markets peak. So back in 1980, at the peak of that bull run, the price of gold was roughly 15 times that of silver. So I think in the fullness of time, in the next few years, we're very likely to see that ratio revisited 15 to 1. Of course, that's going to take some time because we're sitting at roughly 75 to 1 now. But that would mean that silver outperforms gold by roughly a factor of 5 over the next few years. And I think that's a very logical path forward.
A decline.
So I really, really like this video so far. I love the guy on the right, by the way. You can just tell that he thinks things through. Even like the gold to silver ratio thing he's saying, David's talking about how silver isn't really acting as gold is, and the guy on the right saying, well, the gold to silver ratio is just 125 to 1 last March. I mean, it's dropped from 125 to 1 to nearly 70. So there has to be a little bit of pullback from gold. It only makes sense. So it doesn't really mean that silver's just detached now. It just means the gold to silver ratio was so dramatically high last year that it has to kind of, even out, which makes complete sense. And he also makes the point of the out of the ground ratio around 9-1, and also looking at the 15-1 ratio, which has been throughout thousands of years. And every time, like 1980, when silver's $50, the ratio was around 15-16-1, which it always has been for thousands of years. So this is definitely a good case in point. I like how he's talking about the prices, the realistic, the patterns, the historical patterns, and also how that can carry through moving forwards. Now, I skipped around in this video a little bit. Now they're going to talk about price manipulation. So let's look at that.
Next year, silver needs to go to $50. What would you say the catalyst has to be for $50 to happen in 1 year's time? So basically double in a year.
Okay, well, picking catalysts is tough because there's a million potential catalysts out there and trying to nail it down to one. But here's one scenario that I think is likely. I try and avoid terms like using words like crash and collapse and things like that. But let's just say the stock market, I think, is due for a 20% pullback. A lot of people might call that a crash. I think if we saw a 20% pullback in the stock market, especially if it happened in a short period of time, that's going to get rid of any taper talk. They're going to stop talking about tightening interest rates over the 2022, and they would probably reverse course and have more monetary stimulus. Just a 20% pullback in stock market. That could be a significant catalyst for the metals. So that's one potential scenario I'm looking at here over the intermediate term.
What's the relationship between monetary stimulus and the price of the metals?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially silver. Silver responds, has a direct correlation to Fed monetary policy. Easy Fed monetary policy typically results in uptrending prices for the metals. It's as simple as that.
Can you explain why? I mean, what's the connection here? So you've got a bunch of you've got the expansion of the money supply by the central banks. You've got presumably also a lowering of the interest rates because they need to lower interest rates. That's the mechanism with which they purchase bonds through the open markets. And so you've got more money supply, lower interest rates. How does that feed into higher silver prices?
Sure. So two answers to that. First, silver and gold, put simply, are money. They've been money for thousands of years. And when currency is debased, people look to preserve their purchasing power. And silver and gold have historically done that role. So when they're debasing the currency, that makes silver and gold an attractive alternative. And then second, you mentioned interest rates. A lot of people right now put their savings in the bank to earn an interest rate. Well, if the rate of inflation is higher than the interest you're getting by keeping your currency in a bank, well, you're losing purchasing power, which again makes silver and gold a more attractive alternative, especially to big investors.
Now, I really am glad that I found that video. I really like the guy on the right, just his thinking process, how he thinks things through, how he looks at glass half full, not glass half empty, and how he makes logical decisions based off the evidence, looking at the price correlation, looking at everything. And then let's see how this article holds up against some of the points that the first video mentioned. So, the price of silver dropped $1 or over 4% on Wednesday. Some voices in the precious metals press want you to think that there is only one conceivable cause. We should coin a term for this form of logical fallacy. And this is an argument of the form. The cause must be XYZ, as I cannot conceive of anything else. Same old song and dance. In this case, XYZ is that of alleged cartel. The bullion banks and or central banks sold silver futures in mass quantity. Also, allegedly, inflation-fearing masses are buying physical gold. What would happen if the price of futures were pushed down while the price of physical were pushed up? We would be charitable and say the physical only went up a penny. Let's give it a hint. Basis equals future minus spot, quoted as an annualized percentage. So if the future were pushed down $1 and spot pushed up a penny, the basis would drop a lot. How much? Well, yesterday the price of silver was about $22.50. As a $1 and 1 penny change is around 4.4%, but this is for less than 3 months duration. To annualize it is about 18%. If the conspiracy theory were true, the basis would have dropped 18%, not 18 basis points, 1,800 basis points. Let's just say that didn't happen. Instead, here's a graph showing what did happen. So, I mean, he's looking at this from a very, sarcastic and analytical perspective. But I think he's trying to almost make a point, just deeming people off and looking at them as more of theorists and people that are missing the context or missing the point. But regardless, I want to see, some what he is talking about. So, let's look at this. There is indeed a drop in the basis. That drop is 0.4%. And that's 2.7 cents. Think about it. Leave aside claims of selling paper equal to half the world's supply in one instant. Look at the mere fact above, the spread. It's 3 pennies. This price was definitely led by sellers of paper, but people sold physical metals almost as much. How much metal selling does it take to push the price of futures down $1? The market maker is not a bettor. He is not speculating on price, much less betting on a falling price. He's carrying silver, buying metal, and simultaneously selling future shorts. Why? To earn basis spread, usually positive. If he doesn't care about the price, then what does he care about? Spread. So, he's going really into like this. I'm trying to see the points he's making about silver crash equals silver being trash. Well, here's a good, this might be the point. The not so beautiful side or the truth about silver. Okay, so these explanations are sometimes less popular than fantastical explanations. People once believed that rags in a damp closet spontaneously generated rats. The sun and the planets revolved around the earth, and that witches caused infant mortality. Thankfully, a few heroic men risked their lives to tell the truth, and in those days, heretics would be tortured and passed on, and most people no longer believe in those things. When's the last time you saw a witch put a hex on a baby? We certainly are supportive of buying gold and silver. Our business is to pay interest on gold and silver for investors to grow their total ounces, but please be careful to buy for the right reasons. The price will rise, but for other reasons such as relative scarcity of silver to the market and, of course, macroeconomic factors. Owning the dollar looks crazier and crazier nowadays, at least for those who have savings and a choice of how it holds. Alas, debtors have to hold big cash balances, which is one reason why the dollar does not collapse. And yes, I get what he's saying. I get why, I guess. I don't get the point of the title of the article. I don't know if he was just kind of saying that to grab people's attention, the reader's attention. But, the points he's making is true, but it has nothing to do with what the title is saying. Yes, the dollar looks crazier and crazier to own nowadays for those who are saving it and not the people that are living paycheck to paycheck, or a slave to the system, quote unquote, being in debt. And yes, sometimes, explanations or assumptions aren't what the truth really is. And yes, you can look at the spread versus the price and all that, but is that really calling silver trash? The crash right now doesn't have anything to do with what the future holds for silver. Kind of like this first video. They're not looking at, when they're looking at $30, $50 silver in the next year or two, they're not looking at what's happening right now. They're looking at all the points they're making is moving forwards. We can speculate and look at the past all we want, but what's going to happen is much more important than what did happen. We can still look at that stuff, but we still need to really look at where the dollar index is headed, what affects the price of silver, and the things that are going to be in place or going to be happening. How is silver going to be affected and all that? And right now it's looking bullish. Will the gold to silver ratio go down to 15-1? Highly unlikely in the next year, but in the next 3-4 years, definitely possible. Remember, silver was $50 not even 10 years ago. 2011, right now it's 2021. 10 years ago, silver was $50. And what led silver to $50 back then, 2008 to 2011, credit financial crisis, recession/depression, billion-dollar stimulus led to $50 silver in 3 years. Nowadays, recession/depression, credit financial crisis, trillion-dollar stimulus, right? And XYZ. Plus, we also have a silver shortage. We have a global virus on our hands. And not only that, we have massive demand coming from the industrial sector, where it's not looking like they will be able to fit the demand with the current supply. So if that led silver to $50 back then, imagine what it could lead to today. That's the point that these articles are making, not looking at how the current market is crashing because of this. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Investors look at the future, make strategic decisions based on information moving forwards, kind of like GSX. I mean, I'm not looking at the coin right now at 4 pennies. That's irrelevant. The coin's 4 months old. I'm looking at this company in a couple of years from now, the roadmap, what the price can do moving forwards, not where it currently is. That's what investors do, right? That's what investors do. Gamblers throw money, hope it sticks. Investors make strategic decisions based off information. And the information is showing that silver has a lot of potential, more so than gold. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. If you do want to invest into GSX, links in the description. You'll even get a 3% bonus. You know, it's just something that I'm really interested and intrigued by, and I wanted to share my investments with you. I also have a second channel called The Root of All Evil. It's focused more on the corrupt financial system, you know, crypto, all that type of stuff. This channel's primarily focused on silver, but that channel can share all the other things that I'm interested in and that I invest into and you know, all that and above. So if you want to check out that channel, the link's in the description as well. What do you think about this? What do you think silver's going to do? Is it going to hit $19 silver before 25? Is it going to hit $30 silver by the end of 2021 and $50 silver in 2022? Do you think so? I don't know. Let me know what you think. But also remember, this is a flash giveaway video. So hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and you are entered for a chance to win some silver as long as we hit 1,000 likes. So if everyone hits the like button, more than likely, we will be doing a giveaway in this video. I'll be giving an ounce of silver away to someone in the comments. I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.